Hello and welcome to the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. We have a real treat for you today. Today I have a very special guest. She's actually calling in from Ghana. She's the driving force behind the Indian cuisine, Parveen, the Spice Queen. Let's get into it. Again, hello. I'm Christian Fisher, your host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. And today I have a really dear friend of mine, Chef Parveen. She goes by Parveen, the Spice Queen. She is not only an amazing human being, she's an amazing driving force behind Indian cuisine. And her story is going to amaze you. With that, I turn it over. Chef Parveen, thanks for calling in from Ghana.
Yeah, you're welcome, Chef. And so lovely to see you and finally do this. I'm very excited. But first of all, apologies for the poolside and my sunglasses. And I'm sweating. Apparently, women never sweat. Women glow. So I'm glowing a lot. I'm glowing.
So, Parveen, tell everybody a little bit, how did you get to Ghana and what's going on with you in Ghana? And then we're going to go a little bit into your background, but give a little background, a little bit of context to our listeners, who Parveen, the Spice Queen is.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you everybody for listening. So I'm actually in Ghana because, life is a journey, and that's such a cliche. However, with cliches, they are exactly that because they're true. So my journey was I came here a few months ago to settle and live with my husband and work here, and opportunities are amazing here. However, the climate does not agree with me, and I'm finding that I don't love Ghana as much as the Ghanaian mosquitoes love me. And my go-to place, my happy place is the kitchen, where I just close the door, put on my hair, put my apron on, and get into the whole creative process of cooking. However, in a kitchen in Ghana, there's no AC and you're cooking in 30 to 32 degrees. So I find the joy of cooking is not here. So I'm actually coming back to the UK in January. I'm traveling Europe for work. And then I've got more exciting news because hopefully I'll be meeting you soon, Christian.
That's awesome. We're really excited about that. Parveen, can you tell us a little bit about your journey? What inspired you to become passionate about Indian cuisine? And how did you create the chef, Parveen, the Spice Queen, around that?
Wow. See, that's actually quite a huge question, Christian. So I'm going to try and keep it really short. But, as an Asian, somebody from the South Asian heritage, my mother was an amazing cook. And she would make these amazing meals. And I'm a middle child of 7. And what she would do is... I'm middle of it. Sorry, can you just rewind that bit?
Yeah, it says, tell us a little bit, how do you get inspired about Indian cuisine and how you created Parveen, the Spice Queen?
That's a very interesting question, Christian, and quite a long answer. So I'm going to try and make it really short. So I'm middle child of 7. My mother was an amazing cook. And there's some noise in the background, so I'm just going to apologize for the noise in the background. And she would complain about everything from my father's terrible purchases to the house, to the mess. Never, ever, ever did she complain about cooking or food. And she was cooking for 7 siblings, plus mum and dad, and my half brother, 9 people every evening. And the reason she never complained is because it was her passion. She just loved it. And she was an amazing cook. Everything she cooked, from the simplest dish, tasted amazing. And I realized why. And then she'd say, "Oh, Parveen, have you added the love?" I'm like, "Mum, people can't taste the love." And I now realize they can taste the love because my second cookbook is Food Cooked with Love. So she passed on that passion to me. However, I never thought it'd be a business. I just got married, had 3 children. I thought that I had to work in corporate and just earn money. But I never found any joy or passion in what I was doing. And then 2008, and I had a tumor, life-threatening tumor, and life just stops, as you know, Christian.
Yeah.
Everything, as you know, it stops. My life was hospitals, bedroom appointments with my children. I didn't know why this was happening to me. But in that time, I had an epiphany and realized I'd just been working and having no joy in my life. I felt like a hamster wheel going round and round and round and round and having no joy. And then as I came out of the operating theatre, my husband said, enough of stressing, do what you love.
Yeah.
I said, but I love cooking for people, but I'm not trained. I'm not a trained chef. He said, but you are a really good home cook. So that is my brand. I feel like I'm a really good home cook and a cookery teacher. So I set my business up in 2008. And then, as we know, there was a crash. So then I thought, oh, what shall I do? So I'm selling my onion bhaji on street corners and school festivals. And anybody and everybody that would listen to me, I would talk about my food and take free food, say, here's what I do. Here's what I do. I just was like, I had a bit between my teeth, Christian. And I knew what I wanted to do. And every opportunity I saw, I took it. However small the opportunity, I took it. And people call me tenacious. I'm like, no, am I tenacious? Or am I just passionate and focused? So my business then, I set up my business, designed a spice box for my son who went to university, wrote the very first recipe for my son. And he said, hey, Mum, great business idea. And I thought, okay, hey. So I designed my own spice kits, hence my name, Parveen, the Spice Queen. And then from there, I started writing recipes. I wrote my first cookbook, which took 5 years, dedicated to my late mother. Then I wrote my second cookbook, which took a lot less. And now I feel that my cookbook hasn't brought me, in terms of revenue, the revenue I wanted, but it's given me the biggest buzz and the biggest, I feel like I'm legitimate now because I have a cookbook and it's my biggest calling card. And I've got 3 children, but these 2 babies are my fourth and fifth child.
I absolutely love that. I love what you said. A lot of people listening here, especially chefs, they feel they need to have these amazing credentials. They need to have gone to a European apprenticeship like I did, or they need to go to this fancy culinary school. You kind of make Indian cuisine approachable. You have those traditional recipes, that traditional Indian cuisine, and you give it that amazing twist. Can you talk to us a little bit about what inspired you to take something as complex as Indian cuisine and build this really amazing brand around that?
You see, Christian, I'm going to take issue with that. You just said it's complex. Yes, it's complex to you, but not complex to me because I grew up with it. So when people said it's so difficult, so I thought I'm going to break down the art of Indian cooking and show people just how easy it really is. And there's 2 things you need. You need the right spice and the right method. If you have the right spice and the wrong method, it doesn't work. If you have the wrong spice and the right method, it doesn't work. You need the right spice and the right method. And if I teach you how to do it, I believe, and I'm going to throw this out there, I can teach anybody how to cook a chicken masala the way I do. And that's because I have a teaching background.
Yeah.
And because I have a teaching background, I find it easy to teach. So I don't find it that complicated. So what I did was I broke it down and I was imagining I was teaching my children how to cook. So my first book was called Step by Step Indian Cookery. So it's like step 1, do this, step 2, step 3. So there's no ambiguity. Like, what does she mean? The other thing, Christian, I did is when I wrote the books, I wrote it as if I'm standing right next to you. There's no chefy words in there. There's no double meanings. I've used really plain, simple English to explain how to cook. And once I explain it to people and I'm there cooking with them, they get it and then they can do it. Because I got emails from all around the world, people telling me how they cook my recipes. And the best compliment to me is to say, you know what, your recipes work.
Yeah, I loved it. And that's why I said, I think you make Indian cuisine approachable. You have an amazing personality, the way you look at food. You're super passionate about what you do. And that background of teaching really comes through when I see you on TV and when I cook your recipes. So talk to us a little bit, because our show is all about empowering chefs to look at their talents as their gifts and build something around it, being disruptive in their career and their businesses. How did you take that gift of sharing food, the gift of teaching, and create what you have around the books and your TV shows?
You see, yeah, like you said, we chefs and people that cook, we think that that's just it, but there's so much we can do. Now, I've learned how to do food styling. I've done food photography. I can write recipes. I do blogs. I do vlogs. I do shopping TV. So I use my skills So if you have a chef who's very, very organized in terms of health and safety and know what's good, they could go into compliance with restaurants. And you have a chef who's just very good at team management, they could go into training, hospitality, front of house. I just
Mm-hmm.
happened to chat a lot and I knew how to teach and to break it down. So I found not only can I make the best biryani, Christian, I can teach you how to make it. So my forte is probably teaching cookery. And luckily, I live near a TV studio. So I jumped on that and I made a free meal. I got with the bosses and I thought, please, let me go. Let me have a chance on TV. I had one interview and I got the gig. So I'm the person on Shopping TV that doesn't stop talking and sells you stuff. I was selling pans, knives, whatever I could do because I wanted lots of experience in front of the camera. And I thought, well, how do
Yep.
I get that experience? I thought by actually doing the job, taking action. There's no point saying, I want to do this, I want to do that. Do it. Just do it.
I love,
And then
if you don't mind, I absolutely love that because a lot of chefs feel they have no other options. I'm just stuck in a restaurant. I need to work for this guy. I want to create my own brand. And sorry for interrupting you, but help us step by step, guide us through it. What did you go through? What was your thought process? And how did you get started? And you said it, start. And most of the chefs never get started. What do you say to somebody who has the passion to drive the way you do and to get started in their own brand?
Christian, it can be quite frightening when you're used to being in a kitchen and that's all you know. To step out of that box is frightening. But you have to look at what other talent do you have? What do other people say about you? What would you
Mm-hmm.
do as a default setting? What do you do when nobody's looking? So I'm a talker and I'm a presenter, and I found it incredibly easy. Actually, I did amateur dramatics at school. And when I'm on camera, I'm acting at being myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that very easy. So there's avenues, and I think if you're watching this or listening to this and you are in the kitchen and you have other talents, find out what other talents you have. If you don't know what they are, ask others because they certainly will know what your talents are, especially your friends and family. So people would say to me, "Oh my God, you're such an actress. Oh, you're so dramatic. Oh, you're so loud. You're so talkative." I'm like, really? I'm talkative? I didn't know I was talkative. So I realized that, oh my gosh, I can actually get paid to talk, Christian. Amazing. I get paid to fill airspace. So I found my forte, but it's finding those opportunities, even the smallest opportunity, and you think, what's it going to be worth? Is it worth my while?
Yep.
If you're going to make $1 profit, 1 cent profit, it's worth it. I did an event and I thought, why am I doing this? Who's going to be watching? And I went and I met my new manager
Mm-hmm.
at this event, even though we had 5 people in the audience. So it's grabbing those opportunities, and that takes hard work. And when you get back down, you get knocked down, get back up.
Mm-hmm.
Next. Somebody says no, it's okay. Next. What's next? Just keep going. Next. Because is it 27 yeses before no's before you get a yes or something? So I was very tenacious because I could see myself on a mainstream TV show doing the job before anybody else could.
I love
And
that.
then somebody said, "Oh, Parveen, you should." Yeah, I could see it, Chris. I believed it. I could see it, and I did everything to get there.
I love that. And there's a lot of chefs out there which also have the same passion. But it's really hard getting a no. And you said you get all of these no's. What goes
Do
on in your mind if you hear the no's, but you feel like, I want to make an impact. I want to make a difference. I want to leave a legacy. I want to give the world my culture. What goes on in your mind when you hear all of those no's? What keeps you going on?
I think, and I'm hearing, is it Alex, your guest, Mr. Cummings, was talking
Yep.
about a support network. You have to have a very strong support network around you who will lift you and keep you there. It's so easy to say, oh, you know what, my book. I emailed a publisher every week for 2 years until I got a yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought my story was worth telling. My mother's passion for her cuisine, the way she cooks with love. And I had complete faith. And somebody said, "Oh, Parveen, you need to fake it till you make it." I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I will faith it till I make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had faith in me. And if you are in a meeting with somebody who wants to hire you, if you don't have faith in what you're doing, how on earth do you expect them to have faith in you? So you have to
Mm-hmm.
be bigger, louder, brighter. And if you fall down, brush yourself off, have a pity party, have pizza, have ice cream, just do what you love and then get back on that horse and carry on.
I love that. You spoke about the support network. Can you talk to us a little bit? Who is your support network? A lot of chefs feel, hey, I need to do it on my own. I can't show weakness. I can't ask for help. People think I'm weak or I don't know what I'm doing. Talk to me about your support network around that.
Christian, I think I'm quite brazen when it comes to asking for help. I just twist my head and say, can you just, and people just say yes, because I'm the kind of person I would do anything for anybody. So I will help you. Therefore, it comes back. Karma is a very real thing, and it comes back. And so all the people I've helped in the past, my friends and family, when I need them, they will help me during events and parties. But my biggest support was probably, actually, no, I was going to say my husband, who said, do you believe you can be a TV chef? And I said, yes. He said, if you can believe it, Parveen, you do it. But doing it and having interviews and having knockbacks is bad for your ego. Your pride is hurt. You feel battered and bruised and thinking, am I good enough? And we all never feel good enough. But I remember is my mother actually, she was dying and I'd gone to the hospital and I said, Mom, what's happening with the book? I said, nothing.
Yep.
Nobody wants your stories or my recipes or your insight into Indian cookery. She said, well, my girl, don't give up. And I said,
I love that.
I'm gonna give up, Mom. I'm 52. I'm too old for all this. And she said, remember who you are, Parveen. And I said, what do you mean? I'm a middle child of 7. I'm a mother of 3. I'm 52 and I'm too old for all this now. She said, no, you're that incubator baby that survived. And I don't know if you know about this story, but I was in an incubator for 3 months, Christian.
Yep.
I was born at 3.5 pounds. And in the 1960s, do you know what they did with incubator babies? Nothing.
Wow.
You were not held, you were not cuddled, you were not spoken to, you were left in that incubator to survive on your own. And the principle was, if you are going to survive in the incubator, then your spirit is strong enough to survive. So my mother always said, you are that bottle baby. I said, Mum, why? And she always called me the bottle baby because she couldn't say the word incubator in English. So I was the bottle baby in our family and I was the survivor. And on her deathbed, she said, you have a strong spirit, Parveen, and don't give up until you get there, my girl. I then thought, she's deluded. It's the morphine. So I looked at her and I said, nah, Mum, sorry, I'm not doing it. It's too difficult. You've got too much competition. And who am I? She says, Parveen, you've got this. And I said, no, I don't got this, Mum. And she said, you promised me, girl. And it took her 3 turns. And after the 3rd time, Christian, with tubes in her nose and machines, I couldn't really say no to her, thinking she's going to die with that heavy heart. So I promised her I wouldn't give up.
That's amazing.
And then she died the following morning.
I'm sorry. But for me, the story really hit home for me. And the way you tell that story is there's so many chefs in our industry that feel I'm too short, I'm too tall, I'm too thin, I'm too fat, whatever the thing is. Looking and hearing what you went through, and you still went through and went forward. It is also a very male-dominated world. We have some listeners which are in the same shoes as a female saying, hey, I have an uphill battle. What is a word of wisdom or advice you would have for somebody being in those shoes?
Then embrace your femininity. Embrace what you are as a woman. At the very first dinner party I did, I wore a black uniform, tied my hair back. I did this fabulous meal. And Christian, nobody noticed me. And nobody thanked me. And I'm like, And I had a mentor. You talk about mentoring often. And I had a female mentor. She said, who are you? I said, I'm Parveen Twin. Who are you? I said, I'm Parveen Spice Queen. She goes, you are the main chef. She says, be the person you want them to see. Be seen. So I dress well, I speak, I make sure everybody in the new room knows who I am. And I embrace my femininity as a chef. I'm not a masculine chef. I can't do what a lot of men do. I do what I do, which is I cook with love, I style my food, and then after my dinner parties, my USP I would dance with my clients. I would do Indian dancing, and that would set me apart from any other chef.
I love that. I absolutely love that. By the way, I can have conversations with you for hours, but I really love what you just said. And yes, I do talk about mentors a lot because I all feel we need somebody who sees in us what we don't see in ourselves. And having a mentor, if it's a business mentor, a speaking mentor, or a health mentor, whoever you have, I honestly feel everybody needs somebody who can help them cut in the learning curve. If you are
Well,
looking for a mentor, find somebody who has done what you want to do. How
yeah.
did you find that mentor? If somebody is considering getting a mentor, what advice would you have for them?
Wow, a deep question. But you have to listen, Christian. I had been doing this for about 17, 18 years. And like I said, every opportunity I could, I talked about what I did. I think I became borderline, I was like, I was obsessed. I
Mhm,
became obsessed with my job. I had so much focus, so much drive that I knew what I wanted. And then to find the right people to back me was difficult. But you
mhm,
can be in a room with 25 people at a networking event and you can only connect with two. If you feel that energy of that person and that person feels the energy with you, that's the right fit for you. So
agreed.
I gathered my tribe, my publisher, my mentor, my PA, my assistant. I kissed a lot of networking frogs to get the right people around me and the kind of people that would lift me up when I'm down. And believe me, I can get very down. If 10 people can say, wow, that was an amazing samosa, and somebody can say, yeah, the pastry was a bit oily, that's it. That's all I need to feel down.
Hmm.
Because we, people that cook, all we want that praise. We live for that praise. We want people to have our food and say, that's all we really want is compliments. So when you're down, you need the right mentor people to lift you up. And that's exactly what I have. And I will ring them like 2 in the morning and I'll say, oh, guess what happened? And they will lift me up. And then they tell me what's good about me. And then I begin believing it again myself.
I love that. One of the messages we have it in our program is that whatever is wrong is always available. There's always, what is wrong. Focus on what is right, and surround yourself with the people which support you on that. And you probably heard it said, if you hang out with five people which are always upset, there's a very good chance you're number six. If you hang out with five people who are really happy, there's a very good chance you become number six. And for me, that really connects what you said, what you just said, because we need to do this more often. We need to have those people around us, because I honestly feel we as a humankind, we meant to be with people. We meant to be around other people which support us, and we want to be around people which are like us. And who
And the
better
other
to
thing is,
support you
listen,
with that?
the other thing is when you are looking for your tribe, and I call it my tribe,
Mhm.
Parveen's peeps, I've got my peeps, is you have to be authentic and true to who you are. For a long time, when I started the business, I thought, oh, I have to be what they want me to be.
Yeah.
My business is Money Creations Limited. Oh, I have to be this, I have to be that. Then suddenly it's so hard pretending all the time. So then you have to look at your real personality and does that fit with the job that you want to do? I happen to be outgoing and chatty, so give me an audience and I'm there. Give me some ingredients and I'll start cooking.
Mhm.
But I looked inside myself. I thought, what am I? I'm an Asian woman. I'm South Asian. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a cook and a businesswoman. And that's exactly what I put out there to the universe and the world. I'm not pretending to be an Asian woman. I am one, Christian. And I'm not cooking food that somebody taught me or I went to a class. I learned this at my mother's knee. It's very authentic. And if you Google the word authentic, and the synonym for authentic is bona fide, honest, and true.
Mhm.
So when I do a talk or where I'm presenting, I say I am authentic, I'm honest, bona fide, and true, and that's what I deliver to you.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So right now, if you listening to this podcast or watching us on our show, please go make sure you find things out more about Chef Parveen, the Spice Queen. Follow her on the social media. She's an amazing cook. She's not only an amazing cook, as we started out, she's an amazing human being. And for me, when I watch her shows, you kind of draw me in. I just love watching what you do. So it's really amazing. Um,
Positive energy, Christian. Energy. It's all about energy.
Thank you. So our show is called The Disruptive Chef. There's nobody more disruptive than you. If you have to give our audience, what does disruptive chef entrepreneur mean to you? What would you tell our audience?
Oh wow, disruptive chef is I don't know about disruptive, but I can be a disruptive person. I am the person that when I'm in the room, people know I'm in the room. I'm as a disruptive as a person, and I am the kind of person that needs to be the focal. My husband calls me Queen Bee, which I don't really like. I'm not a disruptive chef. I think I'm a disruptive person by nature, and I like to think out the box. Definitely think out
Awesome.
the box. And if somebody, and I always like to surprise people. Definitely like to surprise people.
That is awesome. So thank you for that. So we want to shift a little bit, and my team just got me a sheet of questions. We call the rapid fire question, and full transparency, Chef Parveen never seen them before. They just came over to me a few minutes ago, and my team asks hard questions. So Chef Parveen, we have.
I'm nervous now. I'm nervous. I've listened to you. I've seen how you do these questions. I'm nervous.
So we have 5 brand new questions for you. So the first one is around a signature dish. If you had reinvented a classic dish, what would it be and how would you change it?
Well, I got slated for what I did. So the classic onion bhaji, which is gram flour with potatoes and onions, and you deep fry them and you have them with the green chutney. No, Christian. I'm from the north of England. I have mine with ketchup. And people are absolutely appalled. And I make them in a sandwich with white bread and butter. So it's a classic, but in a sandwich. And you know what? It's amazing food.
That is,
So,
I love that.
and I think people are like, really? What? You're doing what with it? I said, just try it. It's a classic, but it's my own twist and it works.
I love that. I love that. I love the ketchup. So it brings us to question number 2. If you have the power to ban one ingredient forever, if there's an ingredient which gotta stop using it, make it go away, what is that ingredient?
Aspartame. I don't like anything low sugar. Anything with low sugar is so bad for the system. Do you need a more? You were looking for a different answer, Christian.
So you just made a lot of
Aspartame.
people very mad with
Aspartame.
that.
Okay, so let's just rewind that then.
I love that.
Ask me again.
So, another one we have around kitchen disasters. So my team wants to know: can you share a memorable kitchen disaster which happened to you, and what did you learn from it?
Oh my goodness. I've had a few disasters, and I think the one is when I was really trying to show off my culinary skills. I did breakfast at a corporate event. I did smoked salmon with bagels, and I did a mango lassi, which is like a mango yogurt smoothie. And I was just showcasing how easy it is. And I pressed the button without putting the lid on the blender, and I had mango all over my face. Just all over my face. And that was a corporate business breakfast.
That happens to all of us. So I think you all been there.
But they loved it. They found it really funny, Christian. So
we spoke about mentors earlier. So one of the questions from the team is: who has been your biggest mentor in the culinary world, and why?
I think I haven't got one main mentor. I have sort of little mentors that in that particular area of expertise will help me. Another question somebody asked me is who do you aspire to be? But I didn't see anybody like me on TV growing up. I didn't see a brown TV chef. And the one TV chef we did have, she was not how I wanted to be. Because if you said to Christian, oh, Parveen's 58, an Asian Muslim Pakistani woman, they will not picture me, Christian. They would picture something else. So I couldn't see anybody like me on TV. So in that respect, I had no mentor in terms of business, how to write a book, how to publish a book, how to take photographs, how to behave in a business meeting, and how to get contracts. I had different mentors for different things, but never a mentor to be a TV chef. There was none. So I would like to be somebody's mentor, though. I want to take that job.
I think you would make an amazing mentor. So our last rapid fire question for you is around unexpected inspiration. What non-culinary experience has had most influenced you in your cooking style and your cooking life?
Well, I wouldn't say non-culinary. I think I'm going to go deep on this, Christian. I think the inspiration I had in my life was my mother.
Mm-hmm.
However, when she was inspiring me, I didn't know it.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it's a wonderful thing. In hindsight, I look back to all the things she used to tell me and how she used to cook and how she talked about food and how she would bless the rice and wash the rice, and every little thing she would do was all about respecting every single ingredient,
Yeah.
and everything she made was amazing. And so she was my inspiration, but I just didn't know it at the time. But now everything I do, my first cookbook is dedicated to her. When I speak, I mention her because she continues to inspire me.
I absolutely love. By the way, I'm getting goosebumps.
Oh
I
yeah.
just think what you just said is going to be inspiring for a lot of people listening to this. Because for me, food, there's no greater medium than food. Food brings people together. And for you, tying in family, and for me, there's nothing more important than family, and having that be an opportunity for you to really have you develop and blossom out of that, for me is it's super amazing. And hopefully the listeners feel the same. The reason I look at you as my mentor is because you're super real. The person I meet when I walk my dogs in the morning and you Skype me from Ghana is the same person I'm seeing here. The person which calls me, when I'm out and about, it's the same person I see on TV. And for me, it's very humbling to call you not just, a partner, I call you my friend. And I hope the listeners feel that this is you and real. And you said it earlier, in order for you to succeed in this industry, nobody does you better than you. So
That's right.
for me, I'm guilty of that. As we started this show, I felt like I needed to come on like, the Tony Robbins. But now as we getting into it, I feel more comfortable to be me. I want people to know me. And you do this better than anybody else, because when I watch you cook, I see who you are. And for me,
Yeah.
that's just the most amazing thing. That's why I would say you make Indian food approachable. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Chef, for the people listening here, how can people follow you? Tell them a little bit where they can get a hold of you, where they can find your content, and how they can get your books.
Yes. Just before I answer that, Christian, somebody always says to me, a friend of mine said, you have to be you because everybody else is taken. And the other thing is, people do get imposter syndrome.
Mm.
When I was on TV, I found it quite weird that people wanted to connect with me. So just have your support. I would just say have your support network. It's
Mm.
important for your mental health, for your physical health, because we can't cook unless we're centered and we're balanced and we have that good
Yeah.
energy. So people can find me on parveenthespicequeen.com. My Instagram, Facebook is Parveen the Spice Queen. And guess why? Because I am Parveen the Spice Queen.
I love that. And Chef Parveen was very kind. So she shipped us some books. So we have here in the office a few books of her. If you comment below on Chef Parveen and how she impacted you with her conversation in today's conversation, send us a note. Be more than happy to send you a free book from Chef Parveen, because she's an amazing what she does. Also, hopefully if you're not driving, but if you listen to this on your desk, go to the internet, check out disruptivechef.club. That's our private community where we bring people together. You get front row seat on all of the newest things we do. We give you free content. We give you great tools. We had an amazing event last night we're doing for that particular group. So if you haven't done so, please go to disruptivechef.club and check us out. And I want to say, Parveen, thank you for being here today. You absolutely amazing. I love having conversations with you. And thanks for the gift of your time and giving us this beautiful background of Ghana means the world to me. Thank you, Chef Parveen.
Yeah.
So with that, I want to say
Thanks,
thank you
Christian. You
until
take care.
next time. Remember to disrupt the kitchen, fire up your career, stay hungry for change. I'm Christian, your disruptive chef entrepreneur host, signing off. Be the change, be the challenge, and be the chef who sets the world on fire.